Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're starting off in the shopping district and specifically in the wool shop. Recently on the server we had an auction where the shops that aren't being restocked and well nobody's really taking care of them anymore, we put those up for auction so some of the new people have a chance to maybe own a shop and well make some diamonds. So the winner of the bid for the sheep shop is Fireheart, and he wants to tear this down. Now by the end of this episode this place is gonna have a little bit of an accident. All right, well, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. We actually need to wait for Fireheart to log on the server, and I hear a couple of other people want to help as well. So let's head on over to Shadow Cove and start playing with some of the shadowed items. Alright guys, so I was on my way to Shadow Cove and I realized I need to stop at my base because I need to grab some material. So I wanted to remind you guys of a few things. So remember, I'm working on my entrance to my base. This is the North Road, and this will take people well out north plus all the way back to the Nether Hub. This is my unfinished entrance. Now, I remember I'm trying out different stair types. I have actually finished this design in creative, and we'll look up here. We were testing this out in a previous video, and it is not finished, and I put this on hold because remember I decided I was going to surprise my server by building a new stronghold, and I kind of used all of the cobble that I had, all the materials that I had saved for this. I kind of I used it on the stronghold. All right, so first thing I need to do is we need to go to my base, grab a stack of cobbled deep slate to take back to Shadow Cove because I am going to do a mass mining session and I'm going to be using the shadowed items. So look, first of all, let's go to my base. All right, so you can see I still have plenty of amethyst. I have the calcite. I have no idea what I would use that for. But I'm a little bit low on cobbled deep slate, and this is what I need to build my entrance to my base. I used quite a lot of this on the stronghold. All right, so I went ahead and I just grabbed one stack of the cobbled deep slate, and that's all. Actually, I don't even need an entire stack for what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go mining and I'm going to use a shadowed item, and it's going to be really super cool. And this, I'm kind of testing things out, so we're actually going to see if this is going to work. But let's go ahead, head on over to Shadow Cove, and I'll meet you guys there. Welcome to Shadow Cove, and you can see we're actually standing on top of the update suppressor, and as you just saw, Super Santa actually came on the server and helped us to set up the update suppressor. So thank you so much, Santa. Let's go have a look at some of what we've been doing over here. Here we are. This over here is the area where me and another member of the server, his name's Volatile, we've been experimenting with shadow items. Item shadowing was discovered by FX Process and Fallen Breath, and what I'm going to do is I'll put the links to their videos down below. So if you would like to learn more about the specifics of item shadowing, I highly recommend you go watch their videos. And Process actually includes a world download with his video as well. And most of what you see behind me is actually straight from his world download. So go ahead and check out their video. That's where you're going to learn everything that you could possibly want to know about item shadowing. However, in this episode today, what we're doing is I want to demonstrate how item shadowing is actually used and, well, what value does it have? And as I already told you, I'm really interested in the mining because I have a lot of blocks that I need to mine, and I think this is going to be extremely helpful. So first of all, let me show you how I shadow rockets. All right, so now Process does explain this in depth in his video. So I'm just going to show you some of the basics here. Now what I've done is I've done the swap, and I have this stack of rockets here and this stack of rockets right here, but they're the same stack. So it's like we have one stack in two different locations, but they're technically just the same stack. Now what I want to do is I want to move this stack down into my inventory as well. I'm just using my numbers to do this. The next thing I need to do is I need to place my stack of rockets in here. Now let me show you. I was right there. That's where I shadowed the item. I took it out of that hopper, and I'm just going to place it into this hopper. So you see I have what looks like I have two, but they're the same. So let's move this one up here. Oh, wrong thing. Let's move this one up here. There we go. And I'm just turning this on. So now, as I'm using the rockets, you can see in my hotbar, they're being refilled. So they're being refilled from basically the storage that's right here. So every rocket I'm using, well, I'm wasting, is coming out of the storage, and I can add more into the storage system as I please. All right, so these items here are being pushed into my inventory from basically storage. So what we're going to look at next is the reverse. So we're going to look at items that get pulled out of my inventory and then placed into storage. So let me show you the pullers. In this area, we have the pulling units. Now, the ones that are directly behind me, these are basically from Process's world download with like maybe a tweak. The ones over here behind me are the ones that 12 Dukes put on the server for us to try out. And I think today we'll go ahead and we'll test both of them. They do the same thing, but they're just a slight modification. I already went ahead and I shadowed the stone. So you can see this item here and this item here. These are matching. I already shadowed the granite and the diorite. So I'll show you. There's the diorite, there's the matching, and here's the granite, and there's the matching. Now I have not yet shadowed the cobbled deep slate, and that is what I went back to my base to get. So let's go ahead and shadow this really quickly. We go back down to the main shadowing. The main shadowing unit is just right here. We're just back all the way where we were to shadow those rockets. So I've just taken them both out. Okay, so now we're gonna head back down here. And just like I did in the other ones, I'm gonna put one of these into here. We'll put this one here. Now I see how that's draining out. That's totally fine. That's exactly what should happen. That was just like extra blocks. Like, so when I go mining, that would start to add up. As I'm adding more blocks to the inventory, it's actually going to pull into the shulker box here. And then it's actually just going to go right down there into that storage. All right, so one last thing I want to do before I take off and go mining. I've got everything set. I got all of my items shadowed. I got my food shadowed. I got my rocket shadowed. I also want to do the pearl stasis so that when we're all done, what I'm going to do is I'll just throw my shadowed item and pearl back. So let me go ahead and get my pearl stasis set up. Just go ahead and I got two of them here. That's my lucky cornflower. Now, I don't really want this hanging out on my hotbar because I don't really need this in the hotbar. So I'm just going to move it somewhere up here. And that's just in my inventory. So I have the one in the chest and one that's just staying in my inventory. And then I just need to throw a pearl. So I'm ready to go. Let's take the shadow items for a test drive and let's go mining. Alright guys, so here we are. I've finished my mining session. Let's have a look at my inventory. Alright, so we can see here, I still have my shadowed items. They're right here. And look, I actually have quite a few empty slots available. I could keep mining. Let's look at what I did collect in a shulker box. So I did put some ores in a shulker box. Look at those diamonds. I got so many diamonds. I'm really happy with that. But besides that, I just had the one shulker box using for the ores. But look, I think next time I want to shadow the tuft because this was starting to kind of really take up some inventory space. So let's head back to Shadow Cove and check out to see how much deep slate I have. It's going to be in the storage there. So let's head back. Well, actually, I can just use my pearl stasis. I brought my shadowed item. I can just throw it and we'll teleport back to the pearl stasis chamber. Okay, there we are. All right, here we are. That worked perfectly. All right. So here we are. Let's check this out. See how this is still matching up here. So these two are matching. And everything's going to be down below in storage. Whoa! Look at that! Oh my goodness! That's great! This is fantastic. Okay, and then this is all of the stone. Ooh. Okay, now obviously I wasn't trying to pick up stone, but this is amazing. Look at that. Well, I consider this a complete success. This is so valuable. I have a lot more to say about this, but right now I hear Fireheart is in the shopping district, so we need to head on back to the shopping district. I've got my TNT ready to go, and well, let's go ahead and help Fireheart tear down the wool shop. So I'll meet you guys over there. All right, so we are in the shopping district right now, and I gotta tell you, it's a little bit crazy. There's a little crazy going on right now, so I'm going to switch to a kind of storytelling mode. The first thing that you need to know is these guys right here, they're up to no good. When I showed up, Fireheart had his hands full trying to defend his property because remember, he won the sheep shop in the auction, so this belongs to him. And he had plans to basically tear it down and, well, rebuild it. But apparently, some people on the server didn't like that idea, and they formed some kind of preservation society. So Volatile had encased the sheep shop in glass and put up signs saying that it's a protected heritage site. So me and Tisa were actually helping Fireheart try to, well, demolish the building, which was his original intent. So we basically kind of began playing this game of whack-a-mole. So every time we would put TNT down, the next thing we know, Volatile and Mr. Goo would come along and they would steal the TNT from us. So we would put more down and they would steal it, and we would put more down and they would steal it. And well, okay, things may have gotten a little intense. Then, when Fireheart saw the opportunity, he set off the demolition, and it was massive. Of course, he forgot to tell me to run, so I was just standing right there. Now, guys, keep in mind that Mr. Goob and Volatile are actually really awesome guys, and we were all just having a lot of fun, so don't worry. It was all in good fun. So right now, we need to head back to Shadow Cove, and well, let's go ahead and wrap up Shadow items, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. So I'll just meet you guys back at Shadow Cove. Alright guys, so I think my final thoughts on the shadowed items is they are extremely successful. I do like having my rockets, and the food, yeah, it's I don't go through food as much as I do rockets, so the rockets are really useful. But the mining, oh my goodness. I love the shadowed items for mining. Having those resources pulled out of my inventory and put into storage, I can see how that's going to save me so much time and not having to have tons of sucker boxes with me all the time. So yeah, I'll talk to Volatile, but I think we could probably add more of these units and have even more, especially over here. There's just lots of room here. Now, keep in mind, Lucid is a fabric server and we are running carpet. And if you want to play with shadowed items, you might need some things like either a chunk loader, or you need to be doing this in your spawn chunks. But again, go ahead and watch Process's video. He explains everything you could need to know. It may or may not work in your world or on your server. Alright, so that's really all I have for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye from Shadow Cove. Catch you later.